what, 5?
4 or 5.
When the clubs let out. In fact,
Yeah.
we can hear the club music next door.
Right. It's right next door. You leave the club, after hanging out all night, you come over here and you have this
Chocolate in a glass.
chocolate in a glass.
Churros? Churros?
I'm in heaven. I'm in heaven. This is my fantasy. Wait, can I show you this? This is hot chocolate.
This is so thick, but it's not hot chocolate. This is chocolate syrup or something.
Oh.
This is called churros?
Churros.
Churros.
And you take the churros and you put it in the chocolate.
It's kind of like a donut.
It stands up. It's standing up in the hot chocolate.
A visit to Madrid usually includes a trip or two out of town. The Estación de Atocha railway station was built in the 1880s, and when it was renovated in 1992, with the inclusion of this indoor tropical garden, it became an architectural marvel of its own. Karen is headed south on the bullet train for a 2.5-hour ride. She's going 300 miles to Seville, the capital of the Andalusian region. Just outside of Seville, Karen visits Jerez, home to Spain's Royal Equestrian School. Andalusian horses perform once a week year-round.
A mí también.
45 miles outside of Madrid is the historic town of Toledo. Jacques and Karen have rented a car and are driving through the olive-rich countryside.
Oh my gosh. That is way cool. That is like old castles.
That's a complete fortress.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, yeah. And you can see the wall. You can see the wall that was built around the city.
Known for its architecture and diverse religious history, Toledo was also home to El Greco. This museum houses some of his most famous works. Unfamiliarity with territory and language can lead to all too familiar results.
So like anybody else, you get in your car, you have a map, and you're ready to see the city, right?
Right.
That's no problem.
Everything seems logical.
Let's go for it. Oh, gee.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
There isn't even sidewalks. Do we know which way we're going?
This way. Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Wow, this is insane.
Mirrors tight in.
Yeah, I got it
close,
in.
super close.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Oh my goodness, you need butter on the side of your car. Okay. It's all right, see?
Jacques and Karen get to know the city with Luis Alba, a local historian.
How old is Toledo? Like we know the year when some of the other cities were founded, either by the Romans or by the Carthaginians or by the Arabs or by the Christian kings. So you can think that Toledo is as old as you want, maybe what, 5,000 years, 10,000 years, 25,000 years, because the origin of Toledo goes back to the prehistorical times.
Sure.
The city is basically Arabic. I mean, the topography of Toledo. Why? Because when the Arabs landed in the Iberian Peninsula, coming from North Africa, when I suppose the day they approached Toledo, they saw the remains of the old Roman and the Visigothic city. And probably they said, well, let us demolish the old city. It's too old, this city. And they built a new city according to their culture, according to their tradition. And this is why any city designed by Arabs in Spain, in North Africa, in Orient, always very narrow streets. So
That is
one
an
of the
Arabic
reasons,
tradition then.
one of the reasons for the narrow street, climate. Because if you come in summer, the difference between the main square we just left and this street, you may have here 6-7 degrees less in the narrow street.
Sí, sí, sí.
No se te olvide.
How many churches are there in Toledo?
Well, 80 churches. 80 churches, as well as the 2 old Jewish synagogues and 2 Muslim mosques. The cathedral is Gothic, and in Gothic style is the second largest cathedral of this country. We have a bigger one than this, Seville, and after Seville, Toledo.
I know it's a mosque, but what is significant about this mosque in particular?
As you may know, the city is called by some people the city of the 3 cultures. Because in Toledo, for many, many centuries, the 3 religions, the 3 cultures, the 3 people were living quite in peace. The Christians, the Jews, and the Muslims, the Arabs.
Yes.
This is probably the most interesting archaeological ensemble in the city. Why? Because this is the oldest building still standing in Toledo. It's not in ruins. We have Roman ruins. We have ruins of the Roman circus. We have pieces of the Roman aqueduct, but not buildings entirely preserved like this one. So here we are entering again into the old Jewish section.
The Synagogue del Tránsito is one of only 2 ancient synagogues still standing in Toledo.
When this synagogue was built was the year 1357.
Okay.
So still the 3 communities were living in Toledo. The best builders, the best artists were Muslims. So the Jews didn't mind to call Muslim artists to build their synagogue, like part of the Cathedral of Toledo that was also built by Muslim artists. This is why you can see their influence wherever you look.
And between the wooden beams up there.
Yes, yes, yes.
Are those religious paintings or are they?
Well, the Jews and the Muslims, they cannot reproduce the human, only vegetable life, but no human beings. Never, never. And then the rest of the walls were all decorated with plaster, especially the top parts of the 3 walls. This is another material very much used by Arabs and Moors, plaster.
And this is hand-carved plaster.
All hand-carved. Well, you can see all along the walls at least 3 big inscriptions in Hebrew, all religious pieces from the Bible. Queen Isabella proclaimed by law that everybody had to be Christian in this country. But she said, I give to my people 3 more months, so you can make up your mind. You have two options. If you want to stay in Spain, you have to become Christian. If not, you have to get out of the country. So 3 months later, we are in July 1492, we presume that 100,000 Jews left Spain. So 100,000 people were quite a lot. And the Jewish people that left were not the people living in the villages and working in the fields. No, people using much more their heads than their hands. And don't forget that the Jewish people were very well trained and very well prepared in many sciences like medicine, mathematics, chemistry, theology, philosophy, astronomy. Spain was going to have a great intellectual loss when these Jewish people left the country.
Toledo, which once supplied swords to the Roman Empire, still takes pride in its specialized steelmaking.
My wife is putting forth the proposal now to buy one of these swords to chop carrots.
It's made in Toledo, and it's got all the energy of like this place that makes swords. I love it.
But to chop carrots.
It's gonna do a great job on carrots. I know it will. Oh no. Oh my gosh, look at that serrated edge on there.
Look at this, see?
That is unbelievable.
Come on! There.
Oh yeah, and you can carry that around the streets of New York and Brooklyn
Yeah,
very discreetly.
Oh, with my cape? Did you see the size of my cape? Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That is really amazing.
Oh yeah. Yeah. A little trick here. See?
Wow.
So maybe if we buy this one, we'd have one for protection and one for carrots.
Okay. Round and up through the center.
One reason Karen came to Spain was to study flamenco, which started here in Andalusia as a mixture of gypsy and North African music.
Okay. Always keeping control. So if I show you more up tempo, yeah, it goes. And 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Ta-da. Good. Tell me, Karen, why did you come to Spain?
Why
I'm dying
did I
to know
come to
because you
Spain?
have very sort of gypsy looks about you. Perhaps you have some gypsy heritage in you?
No, I don't know if I have any gypsy heritage, but my family's Latin American. My mother's grandfather is Spanish descent. But when I was younger, I heard flamenco, and I just fell in love with the music.
What you should do if you're a beginner, I say this to all beginners, listen to as much flamenco music as you can. Put a Walkman on. Listen to it in the morning before you go to work. Get those rhythms into your head so that by the time you come to a dance class, you've got something ticking away in your mind that gives you a basis to start with, rhythmically.
Right.
And then concentrate on the techniques. And gradually, it's like a revelation. You know, you walk into the garden and there are no trees growing, there's no grass, but eventually you go further down and you come to green pastures. You have the satisfaction of using flamenco artistically with music, with rhythm, you know.
Right.
And flamenco has so much rhythm to it. It's all based on rhythm.
Right.
Yeah. But you're doing very well. That's good for a first class. You know, there's so much to think of. Essentially, it's to do with your inner soul. You strip your soul completely and expose it, but in an artistic way.
This is so beautiful. This is a perfect place to take a carriage ride.
In Seville, Karen chooses a horse and buggy to see the city. Seville was established by the Romans and was one of the first Moorish conquests on the continent. Historians consider the 500 years of Muslim rule as Seville's golden age.
Just by looking at these buildings, these old buildings, you can tell that, you know, at some point the Arabs, Christians, Jews, they all came here. Imagine having that as your house. This is the Plaza de España, and this is where apparently all official government activity goes on. Oh my God, look at that, the tile. Tile on the bridge, little steps. It's just so beautiful.
Karen and a local friend, Macarena Alonso, strolled to the Seville Cathedral. It took over 100 years to build, and it's the largest church in the world, bigger than either St. Paul's in London or St. Peter's in Rome. Nothing caps off a day of sightseeing like this popular Spanish export, sangria.
Nice.
You see, this is made out of red wine, lemon soda, and then lots of fruit like peaches, oranges, and apples. And then it has sugar, cinnamon, and brandy.
I like a lot of fruit.
Yeah.
There we go.
Less than an hour's drive north of Madrid is Segovia, once a royal resort. For a small city, it has a wealth of architectural marvels. The most celebrated is the aqueduct built in the 1st century to demonstrate Rome's might to the local population.
When we first saw it, it was just like, okay, give me a book. I want to know more about this. So now we know that there are 200,000 pieces of granite. There's no mortar in here, no glue, nothing but gravity and the forces of gravity holding it, friction holding this thing together.
So the whole thing is like 15 kilometers.
Yeah, 15 kilometers all the way to the river, right? But just this aqueduct part.
Just to take water from the mountains.
Yeah. Oh, tell me.
Oh yeah, this is nice.
Oh, let's walk under the arch. You look up and you know that the only thing that's holding there is friction, you know, from the bricks on the side and gravity. That is
unbelievable. Cool. This is what, 50 BC that it was built?
50 BC.
Standing beneath the aqueduct is Maison de Candido, home to a famous Segovian delicacy.
I ordered roast suckling pig. And it's going to be so good that I will be able to use this plate to cut it.
People from other parts of the world come, and for them it's very strange. But it's something so typical in Spain that we don't really. It's like for you eating chicken, you know. What part do you want?
I like the part that is the most tender and flavorful.
The leg.
The leg, the front.
The front leg. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So first I go in half.
You have to go like this. Yeah.
Oh, that's so tender though. Right through. It's very easy. And then here?
Right there? Yes.
Right there?
Right.
Oh,
Yes.
it's good.
And then like this.
Okay. It was very easy, and this was it. It's a very ordinary plate, and it cut right through there.
You know, there is something that I have to tell you. My grandfather usually used to throw the plate, and it broke in the floor, and everybody started.
Really?
Yeah, but you know how he discovered that people like that? He was once with a Japanese group, 100 of Japanese eating the suckling pig. He has oil in his hands. He cut it, and he was like this, and it wasn't in purpose. The plate just
it slipped out of
went
his hand.
and it broke, and all the Japanese starting to scream, "Oh, great! This is great!" And after that, even in Segovia, everybody who get married, they do it because it's typical in Segovia that the couple cut the suckling pig like this, and then both throw it. It's like now we are really married.
Wow.
You know.
It's great. I mean, that's one great thing about Spain as well, is that it seems like there are some old legends and then new legends are being created every day. So this is the legend of Jacques and the suckling pig.
It's good.
It's very good.
Another of Segovia's architectural monuments is its Alcazar. It may seem familiar. This fort so entranced Walt Disney, he used it as the model for the centerpiece of his Magic Kingdom.
Look at how far down.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
It's a moat.
It is a moat.
It's a
the
moat.
remainder of a real royal moat.
That is the coolest
That
thing.
is really neat. And this is like the little bridge that goes over the moat so they can
That's
protect the
coolest
castle,
thing.
right?
This is like the castle that you read about in like fairy tales. Yeah. I mean, everything
great.
from the moat to the parapets to the shape of those
And
towers
look
up
at the
there.
doors. You've got these huge
These big doors. And the
It's
ornate
amazing.
patterns on the outside of the building.
This is like almost one way. Oh, wow. What a view. This was worth the walk.
In Seville, Karen visits a local flamenco troupe. Karen also shops for an authentic flamenco costume.
You don't have to be Spanish to dance flamenco. You just have to feel inside. We sell all over the world. I mean, they come here because this is the center of flamenco. And I'll get a shawl for you.
Yeah, I'm into the red.
This is the fancy one because of the fringe, and it has a lot of the work that's involved here.
It's all
It's all
handmade.
handmade, and there are
Love this.
simpler ones, longer ones, less. I don't know if I'm...
Careful, you don't use her like a pincushion.
I love the skirt.
Girls take their skirts and they wrap it around themselves and they tuck it in so that they're not stepping on the cloth. And that's how they go to class. Exactly. And that looks lovely. Look at yourself in the mirror. See how that drapes there on the ruffles? Doesn't that look nice?
Yeah, yeah. I've noticed that the older flamenco dancers tend to be the better flamenco dancers because of all the experience.
Flamenco is experience of life. Flamenco is not, it's not just a music or a guitar or a twirling skirt. Flamenco is a culture. And it's suffering, it's emotion. Yes. Da la vuelta. Turn. See that? Yeah. Very nice. Strong. Good sound. Down. Hit it. Eso, you have to really hit. Only with one foot? You study with the other foot also. Ole. Bien. Eso es.
Now that's one dance step I won't be doing. But what magical places Madrid, Toledo, and Seville are. Rich in tradition, but each vibrantly alive. It's impossible not to enjoy yourself. I'm James Avery. See you next time on Going Places.
To learn more about Going Places, visit PBS online at pbs.org.
A production of WNET, New York.
Going Places was made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
This is PBS.